Hi guys, to give you an update, the book is done and it's all good to go. I've uploaded it to iTunes. It's just I've set a date which should be a week this Monday coming, which will be the 18th, I believe. And so on the 18th you should be able to purchase it. It's going to be £3.99 as in UK, and it'll just translate to whatever the currency rate is across the world. It'll be on store in 52 countries worldwide. Straight from the off, and I thought, well, just so you can see what's in it, this nice rendering, I'm going to give you a quick flick through. That's my first terrible book, so ignore that one. I've spent a lot of time on this one, so I hope that you like it. But just going to fire it up now. So I'll go straight to the beginning, and I'll go through all this content with you. So right at the beginning, what we do, it's available for the Mac and it's available for the iPad. At first, I'm going to try and sort it out for Android because I know there's a lot of Android users that would be interested in this. So on the Mac, this is how it is, or you can full screen it. The full screen goes to this. And, anyway, you can watch the same video as the trailer anyway. So this is all on the actual YouTube channel currently. So once that's done, you can then dive straight into it. So there's these chapters down here, and this is the opening page. So if we go in here, just a welcome and a thank you for purchasing, and then just go into it. So first chapter is the basics. You've got to learn to draw first. So I thought I'd do it techniques. So I'll go over how to draw with your arm and the position your hand should be in, and line weights. Then we got rapid sketching. This is anyone who's been at university at Coventry in particular, you'll know all about this. Yeah, and there's a video of me doing it, so I'll just demo this video.
The previous page, as you noticed,
so I basically try to draw an iPhone rapidly, quick, literally in like a minute. So
it's good practice to be able to.
I'll let you watch that at your own time. Then we go into perspectives. Once you've learnt the principles and the techniques of how to draw that I do on a daily basis, then you've got to learn how to apply that to perspectives and doing things correctly. So there's three types of perspectives. There's 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point. I rarely do 1 point. A lot of 1 point would be like interior designs, and to an extent architects might use it if they're doing an interior shot. But in an outside world, normally I do 2 point or even 3 points. So I go over the basic principles of that and some diagrams on how to do that, and different objects, so a cylinder and how a cylinder hits the tangent points, and then curved objects again, just an example. Then we go into basic forms, and just going to flick through these. These are kind of things I'm going to be covering: ellipses, light, shadow, tones, renderings, where the reflections are going to be, etc. Step-by-step guide as to how I did that rendering is there, so you can see how many. Well, I've done it in a few layers, and then materials on top of that. A little brief explanation about how you do that in Photoshop. This is it's not an organic form, but just a form rendering, basic form. It's really simple, and there's a video to that. So this video is real time, half an hour long, and you can get an idea as to my workflow and the way I go about approaching it, and little things like the reflections and stuff like that. So that's all in there. Then an explanation of reflective objects and how they act over a given surface, i.e. in that case a sphere. Line weights, so just talking about ideas, and here's another video for you to digest. So just experiment with forms and stuff, and how about doing that sort of stuff. and that one's an 8-minute video. So then there's just examples on line weights and where to put darker lines and shading and stuff like that. So there's quite a bit on that. And then if I dive down to the chapters, step by step. So this particular rendering, you might have seen the rendering floating around on the internet. This is step by step how I created this rendering layer by layer, and there's a time lapse video of it. So there's a time lapse
Where you want a loose artistic
with a voiceover as well, and then to go with that, there's a step by step of every single layer by layer. So you as a student, you know what I've done with what layer and how I've built it up in what order. So once you got to the end of that, there's another one. So this time it's got that one I think was primarily Sketchbook. That one was Photoshop. So this one has part lines, there's fleck in the paint, and there's a bit more detail, it's tighter, and reflections and glass and stuff, a lot more realistic. And it's kind of a studio lighting setup. So you can kind of get an idea as the difference between the two. And again, but this one goes into proportions and stuff like that. And once you've got into proportions, you either scan a sketch or do it digitally. I do everything probably about 95% digital these days. I rarely draw the biro. So then the process of that, and literally I'm just going to flick through these because if you really want to sit down and read it, then please do purchase the book. So you get an idea how many steps I've broken this down into, and then there's just some examples of using adjustment layers. So I just go over like playing around with the hue, saturation, the exposures, all the kind of stuff you really want to get into because it's non-destructive editing in Photoshop, and it's absolutely amazing because it saves you so much time. So that's the base render. That's how I actually rendered it. That's colour for colour. And then these are the colour overlays and the photo filters that I put on top of the very last layer. So you can see how the different colours and how high res that is. Package drawings. For you automotive students, you don't really cover this in product designs, I don't think. I've never met a product designer that's actually covered package drawings. But anyway, quite a lot on that. So what you need to do to cover that. And then the project, the main car. And I'm going to leave that for you later, but I'll show you the gallery. And at the gallery is literally just some really nice renderings of the thing, but also some kind of initial sketches and some literally really rough sketches in here. So that one I spent quite a bit. Well, I didn't even spend that long on that actually, but I always like to put my cars into a scene. So I modelled a big futuristic building on a coastline, and I modelled all the water and stuff, and I rendered it all out. So I mean, this isn't even the finished car. This was actually probably about a year ago. So I've been working on this for about 2.5 years. So this was a really quick rendering I did in Sketchbook, I think, and literally it was about 20 minutes. So just you can see like just how few lines and just a little splash of colour, and you can read so much into a sketch, which is really important because when you've got a tight deadline, you just need to produce a lot of ideas. You need to get in the habit of doing things really quickly and really loosely, but also you need to be able to convey whatever it is you're trying to get across, whether it be a product or a car. Whatever. By day, I design products by day. Cars are my passion. I did automotive at Coventry, and that's just basically what I do. So this is fun for me. I enjoy. This is how I relax. I do this for fun. So then this is just a load of renders and sketches and stuff. These are like early developments for what this whole hypercar should be, and there's a whole chapter on that. And then how it kind of progressed and these. I'm not sure about on the Mac, but on your iPad you should be able to zoom in. If I use my Wacom, I think if you got your settings set up on a trackpad or something, you should be able to zoom in and out. I'm just going to turn my Wacom on. Yeah, so you can zoom in and out, really look at them. which is the reason why I put them in an actual gallery, so you can really zoom into them and really examine them. And then you can little popovers, so you can just click on there. So again, you can just really zoom in. And this is on. Bear in mind, this is a 27-inch iMac I'm using, so it's higher. It's more than a 1080p display, so you get the idea as to how high resolution these renderings are and how crisp they are. And this is the thing. Like I recently started to play around with like depth of field and all that kind of stuff. So, and this was literally I went to another level. Not only did I do one car, I did a clay car and I did a milling machine of the future, and I built a building and all sorts. Just because I'm a designer, it's what I do for fun. So yeah, and yeah, you can zoom straight in, have a good play. It'll probably work better on an iPad, but if you've got a Magic Mouse, I'm sure you can, or a trackpad, you can set it up in Magic Preferences or whatever. I use Magic Preferences to customize my buttons and stuff. So you can kind of, I made this whole building just because I think the reflections look so much better because it's reflecting something that's really there, and you can really have a good look at what is in here. Like you can see the headrest coming out through there. I'm really proud of it anyway. So I hope you like it, and you get an idea as to what's in there. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and hope you enjoy it. Let's just... Right, cheers, thanks.